Hello, friend. Come on in. The tea is warm. Reggie's dreaming away here beside me, and I'm so glad you're here. If this is your first visit to Willow Cottage, welcome. Make yourself comfortable. Around here, stories are shared over a cup of tea. Every craft is made with heart, and there's always room for one more friend. And if you've been here before, welcome home. It's lovely to spend another quiet afternoon together. Today I thought we'd settle into our favorite chair, pick up our crochet, and continue the story of Willow Hollow. There's a fresh pot of tea in the kitchen. Help yourself, get cozy, and let's begin. I think we'll start with Grandma May's letter. It's the very first thing in the journal, and no matter where this journal has traveled or whose hands have held it before, her words, they have a way of finding exactly the person who needs them. So, let's read it together. If you're reading this, then somehow this little journal has found its way into your hands. That wasn't an accident. There aren't any coincidences in life. Over the years, I've learned that life has a curious way of placing the right people, the right places, and sometimes even the right words before us, exactly when we need them. Whether you came here searching for answers or simply searching for a place to catch your breath, I'm very glad you've arrived. You see, life has a way of convincing us that we're walking this road alone. It whispers that no one could possibly understand the weight we're carrying, or the questions that keep us awake long after the rest of the world has gone to sleep. But life has whispered a great many things to me over the years, and I've discovered it isn't always telling the truth. If your heart feels a little heavier than it once did, you're not alone. If you're carrying worries that seem too large to set down, you're not alone. If you're wondering whether brighter days still lie ahead, you are not alone. I have learned that every one of us, sooner or later, finds ourselves standing at a crossroads we never expected to reach. Some arrive there searching for love. Some arrive carrying grief. Others come because they're simply tired. Tired of being strong. Tired of pretending everything is all right. Tired of searching for a place that finally feels like home. Whatever has brought you here, I'm grateful it did. Because before this letter is finished, I hope you'll discover something I've spent a long time learning. Hope has a remarkable way of finding those who have almost stopped looking for it. Some of you will be searching for love, wondering why your heart always seems to find those who don't know how to care for it. Be patient with your heart. It has been quietly carrying your hopes all this time. When the right kind of love finds its way to you, you'll discover that peace feels very different from uncertainty. Some of you will be carrying grief, the kind that quietly follows you into ordinary days. Be gentle with yourself. Love never truly leaves us. It simply learns to live in a different place. Some of you have spent so much of your life caring for those around you that somewhere along the way you misplaced yourself. Not all at once, little by little, one compromise, one sacrifice, one "I'll do it later," until one day you looked in the mirror and wondered where the person you used to be had gone. The curious thing about losing yourself is that the world often thanks you for it. It praises your generosity, your willingness to help, your strength, your dependability. And before long, you begin to believe that those things are all you are. But you are so much more than what you do for other people. The dreams you've quietly tucked away, the hobbies you promised yourself you'd come back to, the simple things that once made your heart smile, they're still there waiting for you. They haven't disappeared. They've simply been patiently waiting for you to come home to them. It's perfectly normal to lose yourself every now and then. Sometimes all we need is a gentle nudge in the right direction. And more often than not, that nudge begins with the smallest of moments. A walk beneath the open sky, a chapter of a book, a few thoughts written in a journal, a moment spent creating something simply because it brings your heart joy. Never underestimate those ordinary moments. They're often the first steps that lead us back to ourselves. Some of you will be feeling lost, as though everyone else was handed a map while yours was left blank. Keep walking. The next step has a funny way of introducing itself just when you're ready to take it. Some of you will be exhausted, not because you've done anything extraordinary, but simply because life has asked so much of you. There are seasons when all we can do is keep putting one foot in front of the other, and that's enough. Sit down for a little while. The world will manage without you for an afternoon. Some of you will be wondering if you've missed your chance to begin again, to create, to dream. You haven't. As long as you're breathing, there is another page waiting to be written. Some of you may have had one of those days where nothing seems to go quite right. You spilled your tea, stubbed your toe, burnt the toast, and wondered if the day had begun with a grudge against you. Smile if you can. Tomorrow has a wonderful habit of arriving with fresh mercies. Some of you will be looking back, wishing you had made different choices, spoken different words, taken a different road. If only we could see tomorrow while we're still making decisions today. But life has never worked that way. Do the best you can with what you know today. Then offer yourself the same kindness you would offer an old friend. None of us were meant to know everything before we began. Some of you are still carrying mistakes that everyone else has long since forgotten. You've apologized. You've learned. You've grown. Yet somehow you still haven't forgiven yourself. My dear one, don't spend the rest of your life serving a sentence that grace has already lifted. Some of you will be wondering if you're enough. Enough for your family, enough for your friends, enough to follow the dreams you've quietly tucked away. Please don't measure your worth against someone else's journey. The oak doesn't compare itself to the wildflowers, and the wildflowers never wish they were the oak. Each brings its own kind of beauty to the garden. So do you. Some of you have become so busy surviving that you've forgotten how to notice the little things. The first robin of spring, rain tapping against the window, fresh bread, a cup of tea, the laughter of a child, the comfort of a cat asleep by the fire. Life has a quiet way of reminding us that joy was never hidden, only overlooked. Some of you have stopped making beautiful things, not because you've lost the ability, but because somewhere along the way you began believing that they no longer mattered. They do. The world has always needed people who create beauty. Even the smallest handmade gift has a way of reminding someone that they mattered enough for another pair of hands to spend time making it. Never underestimate what kindness can look like when it's made by hand. Some of you will be feeling lonely, even though there are people all around you. Loneliness has very little to do with how many voices fill a room. Sometimes it's simply the longing to be understood, to have someone notice when your smile doesn't quite reach your eyes, to have someone ask how you're doing and truly wait for an answer. If that's where you find yourself today, don't let loneliness convince you that you've been forgotten, and don't be too hard on yourself. If, somewhere along the way, you've forgotten how to let people in, life has a curious way of teaching us to build walls when what our hearts have always longed for is a door. Sometimes we've been hurt so many times, we forget that friendship asks us to be just as open as we'd hope someone else would be. The truest friendships are rarely found, they're gently grown. One conversation, one shared cup of tea, one act of kindness at a time. Some of the dearest friendships of my life arrived long after I thought they would. Keep your heart open. You never know who might still be making their way towards your door. If this letter has brought you even the smallest measure of peace to your heart, then it has done exactly what I hoped it would. Life has a wonderful way of writing stories we never could have imagined for ourselves. Don't be afraid to live yours. Fill it with kindness. Fill it with laughter. Fill it with ordinary moments that one day become your favorite memories. And when life gives you the chance, leave the world just a little gentler than you found it. You may never know whose life was changed simply because your path crossed theirs. Thank you for spending a little while with me. Until our paths meet again, may kindness always find its way to your door. Grandma May. You know, every time I read that letter, I find myself looking over at Grandma May's chair. I still expect to see her sitting there with her knitting in her lap, smiling that little smile of hers, as though she already knew exactly how the story would end. She never hurried anyone, not their words, not their tears, not even their silence. She used to tell me that silence was part of every good conversation. She said if you listened carefully enough, you could almost hear a heart beginning to heal. I didn't understand what she meant when I was younger, but I think I do now. Thank you for sitting here with me while we remember her. Some stories deserve more than to be read. They deserve to be shared. And I have a feeling Grandma May would have been very happy to know that her words have found another home, if only for a little while. Now, let's close the journal for today. We'll let her words settle for a while. After all, the journal has never liked to be rushed. I've left a free printable copy of Grandma May's letter for you down in the description box, so you can keep her words close whenever you need a little reminder that you're never walking alone. Our visit doesn't have to end just yet. Come and join me in the companion crafting video, where we'll add Grandma May's letter to the Willow Hollow journal we've been creating together. We'll spend a little quiet time crafting and enjoying a nice cup of tea. Until next time, take gentle care of yourself, and I'll be here ready to welcome you back to Willow Hollow.